to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse. Mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like Toby, keep on running toes, they gon' take a few to lose. Built to win, applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I pay for the cost, I'm winning to win. Yeah. Refuse to lose, I'm built to win. Applied myself, I filled it in. No time for the doubt, they counted me out, I'm getting it in. Yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm in it to win. Yeah. Refuse.
Welcome back to CTC. I'm your gracious host, Carl, and I'm back with another episode. And bowl week 1 starts today. We're going over the 6 bowls this week that are not the playoff games. So there's 10 bowls this week, including the playoffs. We're only doing the 6 that's not. So we're doing Troy, Jack State. We're doing Western Michigan, Kennesaw State. Now, this is not in order. We're doing ODU, South Florida, we're doing Louisiana, Delaware, Memphis, NC State, and Missouri State, Arkansas State. I was about to say Mo State. That's why I said it like that. But Mo State, Arkansas State. So we're saving the playoff games until Friday. We'll go over those Friday. So please like, comment, share, subscribe. It helps the channel, helps the network. And let's get right into it. We're going to start with, obviously, the game tonight. We have the Salute the Veteran, bowl with Jack State taking on Troy tonight, 9 o'clock. I forgot to change the dang thing. The spread and changed twice on me. On ESPN. Now, Jack State was the underdogs when this matchup was announced. The line has now swung to Jack State -2.5. So, seems like the public is on Jack State in this matchup. And, I mean, I'm not going to say too much because I don't want to spoil my pick, but let's get into it. For Troy, they got to stop the run. Jack State is a heavily dependent run team. You got to stop the run, which in the country, Troy is like 111th against the run. You got to protect the football. Say that because Goose Crowder is out. So in will step Tucker Kilcrease. So he got to protect the football. Got to establish the run. Again, Tay Meadows also out. He's in the portal. So they got to establish the run with somebody with a back. Score touchdowns, not field goals. I think because Jack State is a high-scoring offense, touchdowns do you no good. You got to get field goals. And force third and longs. Force third and longs against the team that love to run the ball. Get Caden Creel in obvious passing situations. Now, for Jack State, you want to run Cam Cook. Wayne Knight in the Sun Belt game had 21 carries over 200 yards. You want to establish the run if you're Jack State with Cam Cook, who is currently the leading rusher in FBS football. So you want to establish him. You want to run Caden Creel with his legs. He's so dangerous with running the football, so you want to get him going as well. You want to stay ahead of the chains. You want to force turnovers if you're Jack State. And you got to get off the field on third downs. Last week in the Conference USA Championship game, they had that game, but could not get off the field on a 4th and 14. They had a 3rd and 27 turn into a 4th and 1 on the game-sealing defensive drive. They could not get off the field, and that may be an issue. You got to get off the field if you're Jack State. But my winner, now this game, it was tough. I battled with myself back and forth a ton. I'm like, Jack State defense so leaky while Troy defense is pretty solid. They did a good job against JMU in the conference championship game. But then Tucker Kilcrease and Tay Meadows is not Tucker Kilcrease, Goose Crowder and Tay Meadows is not going to be there. So it's Tucker Kilcrease versus a really good running game in Jack State. I ultimately went Jack State. I got Jack State winning this game. I think Cam Cook has a day on the ground. I am concerned with the Troy offense. So I'm going to take the better offense in this matchup. Now, I get Jack State defense can give up plays, but they also find ways to win. They find ways to turn the ball over. And as long as Caden Creel don't turn the ball over, or Jack State don't have a crazy turnover or something like that, I'm taking Jack State to win this game, man. So give me Jack State to win this ball game over Troy tonight at 9 o'clock. And we move on to the Cure Bowl, where we have Old Dominion taking on USF. Now, in this game, USF, they will be without Byron Brown, who's going to serve as an assistant coach, who was the starting quarterback all year. And they will be without Coach Alex Golesh, who's moved on to the University of Auburn. So good luck with him there. Old Dominion, they will be without their starting quarterback, Colton Joseph. I think he's entering the transfer portal, so they will be starting Quinn Hennicule at quarterback for Old Dominion. This game is tomorrow at 5 o'clock on ESPN, and USF are 2.5-point favorites in this matchup. Now, for Old Dominion, you got to run Quinn Hennicule. He had 200 rushing yards his only start last year against Arkansas State. So they got to run him on the ground. Get those legs turning. You got to protect the football against this USF defense who like to take the ball away. Pressure Gaston Moore, who will start in place of Byron Brown. Get the ball to Trey Brown, the leading receiver, and force third and longs with the new quarterback. And maybe that allows you to get to that third key, which is pressuring him. Now, if you're South Florida, you got to contain Quinn Hennicule's legs. You got to force turnovers, establish the run of your own, because that's what you really known to do. USF is a running team. Give me 1 second. You can ask the question, and I'll answer it, but shout out to you for listening. Go ahead and ask your question in the comment. Get the ball to Keyshawn Singleton, their leading receiver, especially because Chaz Nemrod has not played, I think, since like week 7. And get Gaston Moore some easy rhythm throws to get him in just get him like under, how do I want to say this? You want to get him some easy throws to get him in the game flow. Just get that pressure off his back, because he's taking over for a beloved USF quarterback in Byron Brown. And this was another game that I struggled picking, because I'm thinking ODU has a solid defense, but that offense might be questionable. And USF can turn the ball over. But what Gaston Moore is a huge question mark. If Byron Brown plays 100%, I'm taking USF. But with the big question mark at quarterback for the USF, I'm taking ODU in this defense. Now, last time I took ODU in a bowl game was against Western Kentucky, and they was up 28-0 before Caden Velkamp entered the game and brought Western Kentucky back and won. So I'm a little scarred taking ODU, but I'm going to rely on this ODU defense, and I think I'm gonna rely on his quarterback and his legs to get the job done for Old Dominion. USF, Coach Golesh is no longer there. They're losing a lot of their offensive staff. And like I said, Byron Brown's not there at quarterback. So I think the passing game might be a little shaky. Plus, Byron Brown with his legs and his playmaking ability got USF out of a lot of situations, which I don't know if Gaston Moore can do. So I'm going to take ODU in his defense over USF in the Cure Bowl. Next, we got – why did that just happen? We got the 68 Ventures Bowl, which, by the way, I'm still waiting on your question. Louisiana versus Delaware, 8:30 on Wednesday. Louisiana comes into this as 2.5-point favorites in this matchup. Both teams are 6-6. Delaware, this is their first FBS bowl game, obviously being their first year in the FBS conferences. So shout out to them for making a bowl. But for Louisiana, you got to use Lunch Winfield's legs, which he did get hurt in the season finale, but they said he came back, so I'm assuming he's playing this bowl game. So I'm going to just assume he's playing, so you got to use his legs. You got to pressure Nick Minicucci, and it's probably not how you pronounce his name. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, bro. The quarterback for Delaware, you got to put some pressure on him. You got to stop the run, which Joe Silver also played only 23 snaps in their season finale, but I think he's going to be ready to go for this game as well. Establish Bill Davis on the ground and get off the field on third downs if you're Louisiana. Now, if you Delaware, establish Joe Silver if he's good to go, which I think he will be. Contain Lunch Winfield's legs, force turnovers, get Kyrie Duplessis and Sean Wilson the ball, and force third and longs because Louisiana isn't necessarily the greatest passing team. And with that being said, I'm taking Delaware. I'm taking Delaware in this matchup because I think Delaware could force Louisiana to get in uncomfortable situations with their lack of ability to pass the ball. I think Louisiana wants to run the ball consistently, which I don't think Delaware is like the greatest run defense. Don't get me wrong. But if you sell out to stop the run, I think they can do a pretty good job in stopping the pass in that situation. Plus, I do think Minicucci has the ability not to dice this defense up, but to make plays when needed to guys like Duplessis and Sean Wilson. So I'm going to take the Delaware Blue Hens in this matchup over Louisiana. Next, we got the Xbox Bowl. And this game is Thursday, 9 o'clock on ESPN2, which is bad scheduling for the Xbox Bowl because you scheduled your game the same night as the Rams and Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. And you put it like 45 minutes after kickoff. So not going to be too many eyes on this game. I'm going to have to watch it on my phone because obviously this is my podcast. This is what I want to be a job one day, so I have to watch it. But poor scheduling on the Xbox Bowl committee. So for Arkansas State, is 1.5 point favorites in this matchup. Just for those who's listening. For Mo State, got to establish Shamari Lawrence. On the ground. He's close to 1,000 yards on the year. He's been the most consistent player on the offensive end of the ball. Contain Jalen Raynor's legs. Jacob Clark got to protect the football with 11 interceptions on the year. How to take care of that football. Got to force some turnovers and get Jamari Robinson the ball for Mo State. Now, if you're Arkansas State, pressure Jacob Clark. Again, he has 11 interceptions on the year. Maybe you get number 12. Run Jalen Raynor just to keep the defense of Mo State off balance, which to me is the strong point of this team. Force turnovers, get Corey Rucker the ball, and you got to stop the run. With that being said, however, I'm taking Mo State. In this matchup. Why? Arkansas State to me is a bit inconsistent. One game they might go out and they look really good offensively, but then they come out and it's shaky, it's tough, it's just not as good. Well, I think the Mo State defense is really the most consistent part of their team. And you mix that with a good run game with Shamari Lawrence, I think they're able to get some stops, move the ball, win the field position battle, win the clock control battle, time of possession, and ultimately win the game against Arkansas State. So give me Mo State as dogs in this Xbox Bowl matchup against Arkansas State. And now we move on to Friday, where we start with the Kennesaw State Owls, your Conference USA champion Kennesaw State Owls, versus your MAC champion, Western Michigan Broncos. This game is 11 in the morning on ESPN. Western Michigan is favored by 3.5 points. For Kennesaw State, you got to run Amari Odom. Amari Odom is always the big piece for the Owls. He has to be consistently accurate, and he has to use his legs. But the accuracy part is the main issue for Amari Odom. Get Gabriel Benyard the ball. He's the best player on the offensive end, in my opinion. Yes, even over Amari Odom. Contain Brock Lowry's legs. Who, man, he's if you give him open space, he's gone. Stop the run with Jalen Buckley and score. Now, the reason why I put that point is because Western Michigan has a really good defense. Now, granted, Adame Tucker will not be there. He's opted out. But Western Michigan still has a really good defense. For Western Michigan, you got to run Brock Lowry. He's their leading passer and rusher. You got to use his legs at the quarterback position. You got to establish Jalen Buckley. Jalen Buckley had 2 60-plus yard touchdown runs in that MAC championship game. And to start each half, the first half, I believe, was 69, 67, something like that. The other one was 65, I believe. But either way, to start the second half, he had a 60-plus touchdown run. The same to start the first half on third down. So, got to establish Jalen Buckley. Contain Amari Odom's legs. Force third and longs because maybe Amari Odom could throw an incomplete pass or an inaccurate pass for an interception. And you want to force turnovers if you're Western Michigan. Now, with that being said, I understand when Nadame Tucker is not there. Again, he is opted out. But give me the Western Michigan Broncos and his defense to give this Kennesaw State our offense a tough time. And I'm going with Western Michigan to win the Myrtle Beach Bowl in this matchup. Now, technically, I know this is supposed to be like a neutral site, but Kennesaw State is in Georgia. Western Michigan's obviously in Michigan. Kennesaw State may have more fans there because Georgia, Myrtle Beach is not that far as opposed to Myrtle Beach, Michigan. But I'm taking Western Michigan as defense to give this Kennesaw State offense a tough time. And I think that this offense of Western Michigan will be able to run the ball on this Kennesaw State defense. And the last game we have to talk about is the Gasparilla Bowl, and this one should be a good one. We have Memphis versus NC State. Now, NC State is 4.5-point favorites in this matchup. This game is Friday, 2:30 on ESPN. For Memphis, Brandon Lewis is questionable, but I think he's going. He's been having this ankle injury all year. It has not stopped him from playing. I don't see him not playing in this matchup. For NC State, we have questions of Justin Jolie and Hollywood Smothers playing in this game. I think that CJ Bailey can convince them to play, so I'm going to assume that they're playing, but right now, they're potential opt-outs, and it's Friday, so, I mean, it's not Friday, it's Tuesday, the game's Friday, so it's nothing 100% official, but I'm going to say that they're playing. Now, for Memphis, will Brandon Lewis play? And my answer is yes. Establish the run, because this NC State run defense is bad, so you want to establish the run. No, the pass defense is bad. Their run defense is pretty good, actually. I'll take that back. I got it confused. But you still want to establish the run just to get some heat off your quarterback. Contain CJ Bailey's legs. Get Cortez Branham the ball because, again, this pass defense is bad. And get off the field on third downs as the Memphis Tigers defense. Now, NC State, on the other hand, let's test. If Brandon Lewis is playing, let's test that ankle. Let's pressure him. Let's see if he can escape. Where's the escapability at? Can he use his legs? Which, again, like I said, he's had his ankle injury. He looked fine against ECU. It did give him troubles late in the game. He's been playing through it, and he's been looking solid. Pressure Brandon Lewis or AJ Hill. Establish the run of your own, which I believe would be Hollywood Smothers, but just in case it's not, I just put establish the run. Force turnovers. You want to force some turnovers against this Memphis team because the defense really is. I think that they can be labeled sometimes as opportunistic. I don't think this is a really good defense, but at times they can make plays or timely plays, I should say. Use CJ Bailey's legs because he is good at extending plays and making something happen downfield. And get Noah Rogers and Terrell Anderson the ball. That's if Justin Jolie is not playing. Obviously, if Justin Jolie is playing, you want to get him the football. He's their best receiving option on the NC State Wolfpack team. But my winner is Memphis. Why? Because I don't really trust this NC State defense. I think this offense could put up points with the best of them. But I think this defense allows teams to put up points with them. So I'm taking Memphis in this one. I think Memphis, at times when they get settled in defensively, they get a ton of stops. And I remember I'm going back to the bowl game last year against ECU. NC State needed to stop. Rajay Harris takes it 60 yards down the field for a touchdown. And now the pressure's back on the offense, and the offense don't get it done. So when this team needs a stop from the defense at times, it just lets them down. So I'm taking this Memphis offense to make plays when they need them to, because I think this NC State defense, when it's time to make plays, will let this team down. So give me Memphis in this bowl game, especially if Brandon Lewis is playing in this matchup. Now, that's all the bowl games we have for y'all today. Those are the 6 bowls that we're going over. Again, I will be back Friday. I don't know if I'll be back by myself or if I'll be back with some help, but I'll be back Friday to discuss the playoff games. We got Oklahoma, Arkansas Friday. Not Arkansas, Oklahoma, Alabama Friday. And then Saturday, we got Ole Miss, Tulane, JMU, Oregon, and we have Miami, Texas A&M. So make sure you come back Friday so we can discuss the playoffs. Now, this is a network, so I have to go over the shows of the network. We have the main show featuring Joe, Tomo, and Dave, who will be going live in the next 20 to 25 minutes. They go live Tuesdays and Fridays, 7 to about 8:30ish. Make sure you tune in there. Shout out my brother in the comments. He said defense wins championships. They're going to lose if they fold like that, and that's why I'm picking Memphis. We got Unfazed. I forgot to ask Joe if they're going live tonight, but normally it's Tuesdays between Tuesday 9 o'clock Eastern, 8 o'clock Central. I'm not sure if they're going live tonight. No, I know my boy AJ got a new job. Shout out to him, and it's been kind of hectic. But that's when they normally go live. Shout out BWT, Baseball with Teddy. Make sure for all your baseball needs, you tune into him. We have FFC Fantasy Football with Coach Coombs, which a lot of people are in their championship game. So tune in for your fantasy tidbits. Week 16 starts this Thursday. We got Real Ballers Only featuring Vaughn NBA show. We got the NBA Cup tonight. Spurs Knicks. I'm taking the Spurs in that matchup. We have Dave's Doghouse highlights and lowlights of sport. And we have In the Red Corner boxing episodes featuring Ty Ricky and Tomo Sundays. Not every Sunday, but they do go live on Sundays around 6:30, 7 o'clock. That's all the shows we have on the network. Please like, comment, share, subscribe to those shows as well. And that's all I have for y'all. I will see y'all Friday. I'm gone. Peace.
Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.